This tutorial is designed to instruct principals on how to complete and submit a final Reach SLO verification form at the end of the school year after a teacher has already submitted a final SLO submission form for each SLO. To begin, open up any internet browser. In the address bar, enter SLO/ and click enter. If you are on the Education Network in Austin ISD, then you should be directed to a login screen for the SLO database. Use your AISD username and password to log in. If you are not on the Education Network, then you will need to enter the URL address for the SLO database and to the address bar instead. Next, you will be redirected to a school level landing page. Click on the appropriate school level that you work with. This will direct you to the main SLO database page where you can view your school's Reach individual or team SLOs, as well as PPFT appraisal SLOs if you are at a PPFT pilot campus. Find the teacher that you would like to start with and click on the blue triangle next to their name to open up their SLO list. Click on the blue triangle next to the individual SLO1, then click on the individual SLO verification link that shows the teacher has submitted it for approval. You are now looking at the final SLO submission page that has been completed by that teacher. Begin by reviewing the teacher's information, student growth target, actual student growth percentage achieved, and teacher comments. It appears that this teacher had 71% of her class meet their individual growth targets, which falls just short of the 75% goal set at the beginning of the school year. However, she has requested an exemption for one of her students based on attendance issues. Exemptions are strictly a principal decision. However, please set standards on your campus as to when an exemption should be proposed. In this situation, the student has missed 53 school days, including 3 straight weeks during the post-assessment window. In this situation, as the principal, you may already know that this teacher has reported this student to ECST for the same attendance issues. Before making any exemption decisions, be sure to review the attachments first. To find the attachments, scroll to the bottom of the form and click on the uploaded attachments, which must include a final completed SLO spreadsheet, blank assessment, scanned scored student post-assessments, and scanned scored pre-assessments for any student who was not originally pre-assessed at the beginning of the school year. Start by opening the spreadsheets and cross-checking a few of the scores with the actual scanned student work images. Next, on the spreadsheet, look at the specific student from the exemption request. If you approve the exemption based on the information given, then you will need to enter a WD on the post-test column of the spreadsheet. This row will then turn white and automatically remove the student from the total number of students in the roster. The SLO results started with 10 out of 14 students achieving their goal for a total of 71%. For this example, if the exemption is approved with the WD entered onto the post-test column, the result will now change to 10 out of 13 students achieving their score for a total of 77%. Most SLO spreadsheets already have the percentage calculated into the yellow box in the top right-hand corner. If the teacher has not used the Reach formulated SLO spreadsheet, then with a calculator, take the number of students who met their individual growth targets and divide by the total number of students on the SLO. As the principal, you will not have to save or upload any spreadsheets to the SLO verification form. Back on the submission form, if you have noticed something that the teacher has forgotten, you have the option to click the Principal Reset Verification to Draft button. Be sure to inform the teacher of what revisions must be made. If no revisions are necessary, then it is now time for the principal to complete their part of the SLO verification form. Click the Edit button on the top left-hand corner, which will allow you to complete the principal section of the final Reach SLO verification form. Select the percentage number 77 from the drop-down menu for the actual student growth percentage achieved. Next, select either yes or no to indicate whether the teacher met their SLO. In this example, with one student exemption, this teacher now has 77% of her students meeting their individual growth targets, which exceeds the 75% set at the beginning of the school year. She has met her SLO. In the principal comments box, indicate whether exemption requests were approved or denied, for which students, and why. Please be as specific as possible with your comments. Just below, check the box to indicate that you have looked at all the attachments, met with the teacher, and verified the percentage achieved. You can now click the Principal Submit Verification button on the top left-hand corner of the page to complete your submission. Before you are done, you will be directed to print the verification form for each teacher's SLO. Print out 2 copies, one for the teacher and one for the principal to report to the reach office. Be sure that all parties involved sign both copies. Last, on the SLO database, you will be able to see that the SLO verification form for the SLO has now been principal verified. This has been a tutorial on how a principal can complete and submit a final REACH SLO verification form. To complete a final Team SLO verification form, please follow the same directions and be sure to review all teachers' data.